special edition HoF Trivia stickers. Jello Cosmos, what a performance, won the third quarter and the final score, which resulted in 50 extra lives and a HoF Trivia hat. I haven't even seen these hats, but I'm excited to see them, and that'll be coming. So congrats to you all. Congrats, Jello Cosmos, there at the end. Now it is time. Let us do that trivia. I'm going to ask you 12, not 10, but 12 questions tonight about the NFL in this past week in fantasy football. All of our questions are powered by our friends at Sport Radar. I know you guys were talking about it. I saw people saying they were studying the game, watching the Super Bowl game film over. If you get all the questions right, you and whoever is left will split the prize pot of $10,000. You heard that right. It's $10,000 tonight. So let's get ready for kickoff. This is a big one. We want to make this finale count more so than the Chiefs did. Just being honest. Q1. Which team played the Super Bowl on their home field? The Bucs, Chiefs, or neither? Bucs, Chiefs, or neither? We couldn't figure out a third team to throw at you in this question. So is it neither? Didn't you hear how loud those cardboard cutouts were? For the first time ever, a Super Bowl host team actually made the Super Bowl, even if it was only a limited amount of Bucs fans that were allowed in. That's right, Tampa Bay is where it was. Raymond James Stadium. I used to think Raymond James was a person. It's actually a company. 23,656 of you got that. Most Bucs fans probably haven't even seen Tom Brady play in person in a Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey. But he says he's coming back next year. And we're moving on to Q2. Which of these players was named Super Bowl MVP? Rob Gronkowski, Tom Brady, or Leonard Fournette? All three play for the Bucs. All three were really good in this last game. Fournette, the guy the 1-15 Jaguars didn't want, because he kind of forced himself out, was one of only two players to go over 100 scrimmage yards in the game, along with Travis Kelce on the other side. But it was Brady. With his fifth Super Bowl MVP, he lifted that at the end. 23,073 of you got that right. I see 878 said Gronk, right? He said, look, Gronk, I got 4 of these already. You can take this one. But nope, he's got 5 now, hanging on his mantle above his fireplace. Q3. Which of these players scored the greatest number of points in the Super Bowl? Harrison Butker, Antonio Brown, or Rob Gronkowski? This is the player who scored the most points. You know, kickers are sneaky. The top 8 scorers in the NFL this season were all kickers. But in this game, it was Gronk who was the man. He had those 2 touchdowns. That puts him ahead of Harrison Butker's 9 points. Ryan Suckup had 7. Antonio Brown had just 1 touchdown. You guys are stellar through 3, quarter of the way through. 21,372 of you. Moving on to Q4. What song did The Weeknd play to close his halftime show? Can't Feel My Face, Blinding Lights, or Call Out My Name? We said this would be a Super Bowl show. This was part of the Super Bowl. The halftime show is an imperative part of the Super Bowl. Naturally, The Weeknd opened with Call Out My Name, even if it was a Sunday. Midway through, he threw it back with Can't Feel My Face, and it was at the end that he brought out Blinding Lights, which I feel like we hear on the radio all the time. 19,089 of you got that right. Those of you that didn't, this was you trying to figure out the answer. That's, I'm trying to be a meme right now. All right, Q5. Before the game, what coach appeared in hologram form on the scoreboard at Raymond James Stadium? Knute Rockne, Vince Lombardi, or Tom Landry? You know, this one is interesting because Coachella did hologram Tupac a few years ago, and now it's the NFL's turn. Green Bay legend Vince Lombardi was played in hologram form by actor Russ Hutchinson, who read a series of lines Lombardi once said. 19,510. You still moving on. Gab, can we get some HQ holograms soon? Let's freak Matt out, right? Let's just put a Matt hologram like right here. You know? At Matt was funny. Q6. Brady and Gronkowski broke the record for playoff touchdown connections previously held by what duo? Roethlisberger and Ward, Manning and Harrison, or Montana and Rice? I told you last week Gronk would become the first tight end with 2 Super Bowl touchdowns with 2 different teams. I didn't know he scored twice, but I had a hunch. With 14 touchdowns between them, Brady and Gronk passed the great Joe Montana and Jerry Rice for most playoff connections. That's a nice job by 17,565U. Don't worry, 49ers fans. Jerry Rice still has more playoff touchdowns than Gronk. He just caught some from Steve Young, and I'm pretty sure Jeff Garcia at the end there. We have Rich Gannon. We've been through 6 questions, which makes us halfway through this game. This is the HoF Trivia Super Bowl halftime show. This is our Super Bowl. This is the halftime show. I asked you on Twitter for the tweet and greet, what do you want to see in Season 2 of HoF Trivia? We got some great answers. We appreciate the feedback, as I mentioned earlier. A lot of you said to bring hockey in the mix, like Jen Reed 45, Chad Cognac, I'm not saying Cognac this time, Suffering Jeff, which I don't believe sounds like a real person. I can relate. I think Gab just put that in there, but I can relate to you, Suffering Jeff. Cindy Gale 9 and Teddy Mack. Another idea was Olympic themed from Undertaker 78 and MLB trivia we saw from Jason Exbley. Appreciate all of those. I saw someone else said hiatus. They're not, we're coming back. We're coming back bigger than ever. I can tell you that. Q7. Who is the only coach older than Bruce Arians to coach a team in the Super Bowl? Marv Levy, Bill Belichick, or Tom Coughlin. Not the guy who just hosted SNL. He's not an option. I know how this could have confused you, though. Bruce Arians, at 68, is now the oldest coach to win a Super Bowl. But one more seasoned man, respectfully put, has taken a team to the big game, and that was Buffalo's Marv Levy. I hope we got some Schitt's Creek fans in here who are getting this. 13,483 of you are moving on. While Tom Coughlin's face, it feels like has been beat red for 20 years, that didn't affect his age. He is who he is. Marv Levy, older than Bruce Arians, made the Super Bowl, lost it. Q8. What Super Bowl record did the Chiefs set in the first half? Most penalty yards, most punts, fewest rushing yards. These were not the first half records that I expected the Kansas City Chiefs to set in the Super Bowl. I thought they'd win. It certainly felt like we saw a lot of Tommy Townsend in the first half, the punter. And the Chiefs, they couldn't move the football on the ground, but it was the penalty bug that bit KC early. They had 8 first half penalties for 95 yards, as 13,000 of you took note of. Tom Brady, look, man, he'll do that to you. It happens. You just don't want it to happen in the Super Bowl, which happened to the Chiefs. All right, we got 4 more to go. We're going 12 questions tonight. Q9. Who was the only player credited with more than 1 sack in the Super Bowl? Ndamukong Suh, Frank Clark, or Shaquille Barrett? Suh, Clark, Barrett. Sacks are one of the rare stats that goes by halves, and this 34-year-old who won his first Super Bowl did just that to get to 1.5 sacks, and that would be Ndamukong Suh. I was hoping that would be a sack question. Not quite. A lot of you took Shaq Barrett. He had 1. Frank Clark had 1. I don't think Ndamukong Suh stepped on 1.5 heads in this Super Bowl, but his storied career gets him a Super Bowl title. That knocked out a fair amount of people. See how many people use that extra life. Q10. Which of these players did not have a rushing attempt in Super Bowl 55? Tyreek Hill, Scotty Miller, or LaShawn McCoy? Remember, this is not the last question. We got 2 more after this for you folks. These guys don't get another attempt, though. Scotty Miller, despite having the biggest play in the NFC Championship game, didn't have a target in the Super Bowl. He did, however, have 1 rush for -3 yards. Tyreek Hill got his standard 1 rushing attempt for the Chiefs, but LaShawn McCoy got nothing. Now, I want to say we got 114 of you. Nice job getting that right. That's now 2-time Super Bowl champ Shady McCoy. He did not play a down in the last 2 Super Bowls. He walked away with both with a ring. Nice job, Shady. Q11. In his Super Bowl MVP acceptance speech, who did Tom Brady shout out first? His wife, his teammates, or the Bucs owners? 3 options. 3 important people in Tom Brady's life, right? After the game, Giselle and the kids were the first people he wanted to hug, but not at the podium. No, it was there that he didn't even want to talk about the Bucs front office bringing him on board the ship in Tampa Bay. Tom said he was proud of his teammates for fighting adversity. He talked about the guys down there and 8,277 of you. I said you watched the game film. I think you probably watched the speech. And you got that one right. So nice job. You're headed to the final question. That is Q12 tonight. I'm getting emotional here. It has been, I've said this has been so much fun. We're not stopping. We're just stopping with football season. This is the first season. And this is Q12. Travis Kelce became the second player with 3 straight 100-yard receiving games in a single postseason. Who was the first? Jerry Rice, Julian Edelman, or Larry Fitzgerald? 3 straight games of 100 yards receiving in the same postseason. It's hard to believe Jerry Rice, who has some of the all-time great Super Bowl performances, never did this. Julian Edelman had 2 100-yard games in 2 postseasons, but he never hit the 3rd straight. However, Larry Fitzgerald did do this, and he actually had 4 games, 4 straight games where he did this in 2008 to 2009. Look, I know it's not Gab, but I'm going to say it. That's a sacked question. We got more people getting it wrong than right, and there goes Aaron Donald right up the middle, taking the sack. And those of you that said Larry Fitzgerald, you are our winners tonight of this $10,000 game, which means you're going to make a lot of money that I'm not going to do any math for, but Larry Fitzgerald just earned you some dough. By the way, Hakeem Nicks did it 3 times in one postseason, not 3 straight, if you were wondering. Kitch Rich Siciliat, nice job. Denver 9052 cashing in. We got a lot of 294s. Collingwood, Robbins Dose, Robbins 2, Lucky 5757. You were more than lucky tonight. You did this on your own. FSK Kodu, Douglas B, Watson Bean. How about